Welcome back to Dynasty Football Maniacs. Man, what a week we've had. Oh, between football and life, it's been great. So, on our side, we got to welcome another addition to our family. So, it's my fourth girl, and good God, it's my fourth girl, and then I have a son. So, it's five children now. Woohoo! Yeah, I'm definitely populating the world. Someone needs to. We got
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, with that being said, let's get into this crazy, crazy week. And why I say it's crazy because injuries have not stopped.
No.
I have a league. This is no lie. It's in a dynasty league, and I'm not exaggerating. I have enough just to fill the bench, like to fill the roster. My entire bench is either out, IR, or questionable. And thank goodness that Sleeper added this new technology where we could sub people for questionables because if I had not had that, I still lost because my subs are not the hottest. But then sometimes these subs are like great. Like Palmer could really do some great stuff, but then sometimes he's just your 5 point scorer. So what a survival of the best. So I went from a 500 team to just below a 500 team in the one league that I thought I had a shot for the playoffs, and that was in a stack 'em league I'm playing. Austin ain't in that league, and that was one of my best dynasty leagues I had going until Nico Collins. They pulled Anthony Richardson for whatever reason, and Joe Flacco's playing, and he ain't even injured. And then on top of that, it's like I had ETN. Oh, he's been an up and down roller coaster, and it's like it's Eckler in and out, but he's playing. Dak Prescott, come on, good God! Now you're out for the season. It,
Ooh,
and then it just like
ooh.
and when an impact like that happens, you have an impact to CD Lamb, that whole offensive line's impact. Indianapolis actually probably has a better offensive team now with Joe Flacco behind the thing, but still, I'm not seeing like I ain't screaming, "Oh my God, here's Jonathan Taylor back." It's like it's an up and
Well,
down roller coaster. It's just wild.
Jonathan Taylor is their best option right now, in all honesty.
Yeah.
But I haven't told the everybody in the in our my dynasty league that I'm running, but I think this off season when we do our annual, rules and reviews and stuff, and what we want to implement or take out, I think I'm gonna see about at voting in like maybe one or two more IR spots for my league because right now we only have four IR spots, and good God, I could use more.
I totally agree. If you remember when I set up my league, I put six because I thought I was
Well,
doing three offense, three defense. This way it opens it up a little bit
well,
more. And I got them
well.
all filled.
And we'll see. Whenever we started this one, there was injuries here and there, but there was not like how it is this year. There was like a few here and there. I still had an IR open spot, so I never really saw the point in putting two more. But this year, I was like, oh my God, I need more.
I think in a way, I kind of wish. I could see your point, but I also kind of wish we could take away because in the league that I have six IR, it's slimmer pickings than in your league. So in your league, you still have
True.
a chance to get a waiver wire. In my league, what's left on the waiver wire, very, very seldom is there something popping up anymore that's
Well,
worthy of getting. It's like it's getting so deep, it's crazy.
that's true. Now that you sweet talked me into not doing it, I'm not going to mention it.
Because see, I've actually thought about reducing my waiver wire, but I did set it up like I was excited when you said it because I did set it up thinking, well, three defensive, three offensive, and then I was thinking the taxi squad. I think that's another thing I would like to reduce because we did a lot of this at experiment. I had seven taxi squad. It's like, good God, there's nothing on the waiver wire.
Well,
I'm scrambling right now. I literally got an entire bench full of IRs. and I have 4 open spots, but I can't pull no one off the waiver wire to fill the 4 spots because none of them players are really playing. It's like,
I thought about because this is Dynasty talk still, so I thought about reducing the taxi squad instead of having 2 years played on it, just be like rookies and just 1 year guys on it. That way you can't just have somebody, stay in there longer. You have
yeah,
to actually make more of a decision on it. So I'm thinking
quicker
about
decision.
implementing that or putting it up for vote this off season.
But then we also, you and me talking, we have our issues. But then we got to look at the ones that are doing successful with the whole situation. They're going to be like, that's your problem. I'm doing great. And,
Yeah,
and
but
but that's why it's a democratic kind of like a democracy. We're sitting here, we're voting on it to decide what is what instead of just making a decision for the group. So because the group
so
might not agree with us.
so you know what's funny? I'm glad you mentioned that because there's a couple. Sometimes there's some players that they're new. They knew they get in the dynasty, and perfect example was somebody in your dynasty. They get in it, and they actually make it to the fantasy bowl or Super Bowl, whatever you would like to call it for fantasy, and they win it. So then, like during the off season, they're like, "Oh man, we're super stat. Don't you think we should do this or this or this?" And you're like, "No, no, just you'll see. They're not going to be as dominant as you think they are. They didn't. They thought they were going to be dominant the whole time, but now when you look at them, they have a record of 4-6. So just because you might have won the year before doesn't mean everything's going to go as smooth sailing as it did for you the past year, the next year."
No, it never does. Is this is my what, third year or second year, third year.
Hmm.
I mean, it's never been the same. It's never been the top guy from the last year to win it. It's always, I've watched the bottom guy win it the next year. That's crazy. The guy that was
Yeah.
dead last. Now, I admit, in one league, I literally threw a team apart, but I was also rebuilding the team. So I had a strategy behind what I was doing. And if you look at my team where it's graded at, it's a lot better than what it was when it started, even though my record doesn't show. It has still a high potential chance of doing successful next year. So I looked at it like this year, I'm not going to throw away what I have. And I've been offered, like, we're fixing to talk about a pick right now,
Hmm.
a trade. So I get offered these trades because, oh, you're dead last. You need all the help you can get. No, I don't need the help I can get. Right now, I understand injuries are the biggest thing impacting fantasy. I also understand the players' values that I have and where they're actually ranked, even though they're not performing. So that means next year I have a higher potential chance of doing better. So at this point in time, like I told everybody, yeah, last year I was giving away stuff, but I was also doing it for a reason. Now I'm building the team in more of a strategy, slow mo, and kind of happy with what I got. And I'm just going to touch here and here to kind of finish it off and hopefully do good next year.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing like me, except for mine was total opposite. Like I was doing good last year, and I made it to, the fantasy bowl, and then now this year it's like a total 180. So like I'm now like I noticed that I needed to start rebuilding, so I started selling to people, and obviously for the right price. There's a thing about getting rid of your team but never actually rebuilding, but trading away your team, but actually getting pieces for the like to do a rebuild the right way. If you're not careful, you could really, if you're not building it right, you could really set your team back a lot more than just 1 year, 2 years, and so forth.
Correct. So let's kind of just do a real quick recap. We're not going to dive in too deep on any of these games. The first game happened on Thursday. Uh, really thought it was a one-way game. I really thought the Bengals had it in hand, and in that final quarter decided different. And I mean, the
Yeah.
Ravens didn't give up hope. And I mean, it was a great game for both sides. Derrick Henry had a decent game. Joe Burrow had a wow game, and Jamal Chase had a wild
Oh
game.
my God, Jamar Chase.
Woo.
Ace. We have bonuses in mine and your league, and I looked at mine because I actually have him on my team in my dynasty, and he scored me 80 points, and I about fell off my out of my chair.
So it was pretty impressive. I mean, I kind of liked it. I mean, the whole that game was just great.
Oh
Um,
yeah, absolutely.
then over the weekend, Sunday games roll around. It was a roller coaster. Cowboys pretty much fell apart. I mean, they only got field goals, no touchdowns. Eagles did what they wanted to them, and a lot of it was injuries is what caused that game's outcome at the end of the day. Um, the
And
Giants,
and poor stadium management of why would you want to build a stadium where the sun is going to blare directly on your team.
right. Boy, I'm a popular guy today. Phone calls left and right. And then Panthers pulled off another victory. It's the Giants. It's the Panthers. Okay, whatever. It happened. Uh, Patriots and the Bears. Patriots pretty much handled their business, took the game, kept the Bears without even getting in the end zone. Um, the Bills and the Colts. It was a Joe Flacco game. Taylor was their guy, but Josh Allen's the hero for the Bills. The Chiefs
Always.
and the Broncos. That little outtake of Mahomes talking to the ref. Yeah, it could have been a joke. No one was laughing. I'm starting to think it's fixed watching them play. I mean, they're not playing to the greatest extent, but then let me tell you, everybody, there was a year the Patriots with Tom Brady went undefeated, and they had all their dreams and hopes taken away at the end of the year. All right. Mahomes and them, we'll call them Mahomes and the bunch, uh, the Chiefs, they're having their moment right now. If it's set up, it's set up, whatever. I
I
think at
don't
the end of the day, I don't think they're
don't
the top team, and I think they're
hang
going to get beat.
don't say it's set up because then we're gonna have a whole you know you're gonna have that whole crowd jumping in saying it is now.
No, I don't. I don't believe it's set up. I'm just saying.
I do think I honestly think that he did that as a joke.
I think he did
I
too. I
think
really
he
do.
did that because he kept seeing people and hearing people doing stuff like that. So he was like, you know what? He's
I'm
like,
gonna give it to
I'm
him.
gonna, I'm gonna play it like this. But man, I mean, yeah, they are not playing as well. They still find ways to win, but they're not playing as well as you would expect them to.
So the Saints pulled off a victory against the Falcons, 20-17. Uh, McCaffrey come back. 49ers win 3 points against the Buccaneers. I was really shocked with the Steelers and the Commanders outcome. That 1 point, I did not see that
Oh,
coming. I thought the Commanders had that. I really did.
that was a pretty good game, though.
Yeah, I thought the Commanders had it, but that final score got it all. Titans, the Chargers. Wow. Chargers handled their business, but Titans ain't got much. I mean, Will Levis, 175 yards, 18 and 23, 2 touchdowns.
They're just striving for a new quarterback next year.
Yep. Cardinals definitely handled their business, definitely looked
Man,
good.
that that was just I expected the Jets defense to hold up a little bit better, but my God, they just fell apart.
I like the idea they did a duel between Connor and Benson. They kind of like
Well, they
Benson
both
had a
look
little bit more play in it, and
well,
I
they
like to
both
see
looked
that.
good.
Oh, they did. I mean, both of them. I mean, Connor was just receiving. He had 5 receptions, 80 yards. Benson, he had 10 carries and 62 yards. I mean, it both looked good.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Texans, but it's a lot of injuries. I mean, his main
They
receiver is Mitchie right now, and Mitchie
they
looked good. 5 receptions, 74 yards, and a touchdown.
they gave up that game. They gave up. Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions, and yet you could not put that game away.
Yeah, I know.
That is
The
wild.
defense and offense. Uh, and then Monday night was Monday night. Dolphins won their game against the Rams, and there you had it. I mean, I don't know what else to say about that week, but the injuries is what killing me. So let's get back to fantasy. Let's really talk about this. So we're late in the season. All leagues are right down to deadline for trades. I think one league's already ended trade. Most of them are week 11, so this is the last week of anything really. I think we got one week 12, don't we? Or is it week
I,
11?
one's week 11. One's,
Yeah.
I think, another one's, I think, week 12, but I think that's a redraft league.
Yeah. So looking at this, okay, so I got a trade. Oh, okay. Someone offered me a trade. Now, I know some people have been begging me for Barkley, throwing all kinds of stuff at me, and
Hmm.
I pretty much turned them down. Reason why is Barkley's not at his end of his prime. He still, I think, has a good sufficient another good year or so. I mean, nothing's telling me anything different. To get a trade like this blew my mind, but I mean, no, it's not reasonable. I wouldn't do it.
Well, lay it on me, and I'll throw my input on it.
All right, let's see here. Let's see. Would you take Addison Hunt in a fourth round 2012, 2025 for a sixth round 2025 and Nico Collins?
Mm, no.
No. Why?
No, because don't get me wrong, Jordan Addison is a talented receiver, but you still have Justin Jefferson as the number one guy there, and Nico is literally the number one. I mean, we've seen it. We see it. We've seen it whenever he was on the field and healthy. He had most of the targets and he had most of the production. But once they he got hurt and put on IR, then that's when they were trying to figure out who was going to be the next guy. Originally, it was Stephon Diggs until he got hurt. But in all honesty, I like Nico a lot better just because he is the bona fide number one in that offense.
And when he comes back, he'll prove that.
Exactly, because CJ Stroud loves Nico Collins.
So, I
So
mean, it,
in my opinion, they would. In my opinion, if they were going to move that needle, that pick is going to have to come up.
yeah, I would never ever, yeah. So, what would you do in a trade? Oh, I think we already covered that one from last week. Let's not cover that one again. All
I
right.
mean,
So,
we might have. I don't remember it.
did we cover a Baker Mayfield for a first rounder?
Yep. Okay. Yep. We did cover that. So, yep, we definitely did. I remember that now.
But yeah, I seen that. I was like, So right now, leading total score in a PPR, everybody should know who's leading. Lamar Jackson. Right behind him is Jamar Chase. He has finally pulled up to where everybody's expectations have been for so many years. And he is
Yeah.
there. Now, I was starting to worry this year. I thought he was going to be another disappointment, but by God, he has pulled it off as long as he can, knock on wood, stay healthy. Ah, and I mean, you need to bang on some wood and not your own wood. I mean, real wood. Baker Mayfield. I mean, he's still hanging in the top five. I mean, he's rocking. I mean, number three is overall PPR. They got him ranked overall 139 in offense. 139. Okay.
Hmm.
Yes. Okay. I kind of agree in a way. Yes, I traded him away for a first round. Why did I do that? Because I I believe Baker Mayfield, yes, he's doing well with his tight ends. He's pulling things together. But if they don't find him wide receivers that are equivalent to what he has, next year I do not think Tampa will have as good of an offense as we see this year. Because Mike Evans and Goodwin, they're slowly going away. And I think just watching him on the IRs and the injuries and the way he's playing without them, there's an impact. But he's still hanging in there. He's in the top 10 as a total point scorer, but he is also a quarterback.
Yeah, and you actually, honestly, this is just my opinion, but you you got the first rounder for him, right?
Yep.
Okay, so in all honesty, I think you got the better end of it, in my opinion.
It's
Just
and I did it at the end of the season. I didn't do it in the beginning when he was scoring all the points, which he's still scoring points, but
yeah,
my team doesn't have a playoff chance. So I'm looking at, okay, at this point I know I need something for next year.
yeah, but you still got the better end regardless because just like you mentioned, they need to get another wide receiver. They need to get more offensive weapons instead of just being K Dotton and just a bunch of my guys who just are cardio kings. They need to get another bona fide wide receiver because we see how that offense is without Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, and without K Dot there. I mean, this offense will look atrocious.
Right. So we take a look at that league right now and that whole team I got that I gave away Baker. And my quarterback is CJ Stroud. So right there,
Mm,
I have a pretty decent quarterback. Now, I do not have no other quarterbacks. Baker was my last. So I will definitely be going for I have
Now,
Connell, but Connell probably not going to be playing next year. So I'll be looking for I got 3 first rounds in that league. So I'm surely going to be able to pick up at least one or two quarterbacks, if not at least one, to kind of
right,
balance out the team.
right, yeah, that makes sense. And which is this a super flex or a standard
Yeah,
league?
it's a super flex.
Okay, I got you.
But I have all my other picks after the first round. I have my second, my third, my fourth.
I mean, you can get one of there's at least going to be probably one quarterback, maybe two that slip out of the first round.
Yeah, you're going to grab in the third or second.
Right,
So I might be going for like some running backs because I need that. But I have Barkley. So I mean, I'm going to be balancing out my team pretty good.
right.
Uh, Joe Burrow's number 5. Jalen Hurts is number 6. Oh, I skipped Derrick Henry. I'm sorry. The King Derrick was number 4. If I didn't know if I said that or not. So let me start over. Jamar. They rhyme. How about that? 1 and 2. And then Baker Mayfield, Derrick Henry, number 5, Joe Burrow. Number 6, Jalen Hurts. Number 7, Alvin Kamara. Wow. Almost had a hard time with that. Number 8, Josh Allen. Number 9, my man, Jaden Daniels. What a quarterback coming out. He wasn't even the first pick for quarterbacks. And look at how he is performing. And then Bijan Robinson. This everybody was hyped on Bijan. Everybody was. Now I see why they should. I was not a Bijan fan, and I apologize for not jumping on that train. I did jump on the Jaden Daniels train, but not the Caleb Williams train. We'll get to Caleb Williams later. So then you got Bijan, and then right behind Bijan, number 11 is Barkley. And Barkley is clawing. I mean, they're just like within 0.02 from each other. I mean, they're not even like, they're like any week could determine who's going to be 10 or 9. I mean, it's crazy. And then Kyle Murray, number 12. Number 13 is Brock Purdy. And why I'm going so low is because the next one I want to mention, a guy I kind of gave up hope in the beginning, but this is kind of another misread that I did on a quarterback from last year. Bo Nix, number 14. Yes, it's looking hairy, but at the end of the day, if you're in a fantasy league, this guy is looking like a genius. I mean,
Well, especially in dynasty leagues.
yes, in dynasty leagues, he is definitely your hero. Number 15, Justin Jefferson. And then we were talking about powerhouse wide receivers. You and me had a conversation over Garrett Wilson and someone else. But at the end of the day, Garrett Wilson is still in the top 20. He still is the man. And then Jamar Gibbs has finally surpassed David Montgomery as the lead back at the lines. But David Montgomery is struggling with injuries too, off and on. But Gibbs is there. He's at but Gibbs also, see, a lot of people got to understand Gibbs is not just a runner. He's a receiver. He's doing both ends. He's scoring every which way. You just give the boy the ball, he's going to run it. He's going to do what he's got to do. And at the end of the day, we all talked about his size going into the NFL. Well, look at him. He's just getting bigger, stronger, and faster.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
they said the same thing about Devon Achan, and he's still doing pretty good.
and I'm gonna surprise you with numbers after Jamar Gibbs. I'm gonna surprise you with one for 18, and that's Chuba Herbert. Herbert. I said it
Oh,
right.
Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba Hubbard. Carolina. Why is he up there? Well, that's the only thing Carolina has. Okay,
That is
guys,
true.
you got one player that can perform. Yes, he's going to be in the top 20 because that's what Carolina's surviving on is him.
Well, that's the reason why they gave him that contract extension.
Yeah, because did Miles Sanders do anything? Oh, no, he didn't. Didn't do nothing this year or last year. I need to slow down, but that's your man right now. Geno Smith, what a guy! What a guy! He sat so many years as a backup, and here he is. He is a star all over. 19, and then to round off the top 20, another quarterback, Kirk Cousins. I mean, that's just wow. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks in your top 20 overall. That's why quarterbacks are so valuable. So, yes, I traded away a Baker Mayfield. And yes, my CJ Stroud is not up there this year, but CJ Stroud was seventh last year.
Yeah, I think when Nico Collins gets back, it'll be. I think you'll see him start climbing back up.
Oh, yeah, because he's still in the top 40. I mean, he's in the top 40. He's 37. And then, I mean, he's just right behind all these other great. Well, I'm actually shocked that he's behind Aaron Rodgers, but he's behind Aaron. Oh, no, he's behind Aaron Rodgers by one fantasy point. One fantasy point.
Do better,
So,
CJ.
yeah, CJ, you got to do better than that. That is bull crap. All right. So, just looking at that, that's pretty amazing. And then I wanted the reason why I did a little different today. I'll always go to the 100, but today I went to the 200. So, the 200 top scorer in fantasy football right now is Cole Kmet for the Chicago Bears. His total points scored is 80.6 this year. And a lot of that's injuries, and God bless him. He has a quarterback that 1 minute he's here, and the next minute, who knows where he's at. But
well, they fired their offensive coordinator because I think we can both agree that some of the play calls that he's made for that offense has been very questionable.
well, they were questionable before the him. The
Yeah,
other
but
offensive coordinator was just as bad under Justin Fields. I mean, it's a trend. It's like the Bears can't handle. They can't hire an offensive coordinator. I think I could go in there and be a better offensive coordinator than half the people they put on the field. I mean,
well, as long as you're not the one throwing, we should be fine.
no, I'm never the one throwing. Well, yeah, in the game. Hey, how about that? In our dynasty league on college 25, I played a guy in our league last night. He had Jacksonville State. I was playing with the University of Toledo, UT Rockets. I did lose. It was very disappointing, but I only lost by 7 points.
Oh wow.
And I had over 521 passing yards and 5 interceptions. And basically, why he had the lead and why he won is my interceptions. So,
I was gonna
talking to
say,
EA again, let me get this out. EA, listen. Yes, it's true. It's that many interceptions they're throwing in a college game. Yes, I believe it. But at the end of the day, they're not all pick sixes, okay? So, I mean, it's like my entire defensive line freezes when they freaking intercept. I could change players, and it's like a hesitation for him to move. It's like, why? And I mean, 3 of them 5 interceptions were pick sixes. So that's 21 points, pick six galore, all on my side of the field. Horrifying. But he also had a pick, and it was on his side of the field. I was able to shut him down with my defense. So I'm just saying we need to work on that. glitch. I'm fine with the interceptions, maybe once in a while pick six, but not 100 of them. Uh, but it was
That's
a good
funny.
game. I enjoyed it. I think I'm ready for you again. I think we got another round to go, and I think this time I will dominate you.
Oh, oh, okay. Let's cool the jets a little bit. We
No,
don't.
no, I'm going to go ahead and bolster this one, and you guys can go to Twitch and watch as I finally manhandle the Austin aggressiveness.
Oh, okay.
Or I crawl back in my hole and cry and talk about how I thought I could do it and I wasn't ready for it yet. But either way,
Okay.
yes, I wanted to point that out. Yes, there is no defensive players in the top 20. It is dominated by offensive players. The first defensive player is Zach. Oh no, I was gonna misspeak. Bubba Baker passed Zach Bond. Arizona, Bubba Baker passed him by a half a point. So that's 33, Bubba Baker. And then right behind him is Zach Bond for Philadelphia. That is the first two defense in the top 40. So it's 33 and 34. And then the next one is the one we were bragging on all year long, Fred Warner from San Francisco. He goes right at 40. He is 40, and he is a point and a half ahead of Daniel Jones.
Hmm,
That it just tells you Daniel Jones ain't even in the top 40 for scoring. Uh, so
hmm.
that's kind of interesting. Um, TJ Watts dropped a little bit down, but a lot of that is because he's on the field. Other players are doing defense kind of shares. When one's dominated, the other ones kind of help dominate across the board. So they kind of share the point scales. Offensive players are individual players. And when you say that, that doesn't sound right, but it is true to a point. You're just passing to that receiver, one of the receivers.
Yep.
And that's something you always got to look at. But right now, I mean, I am plagued with injuries and it's horrifying. So let's go into next week. Here is a game that's going to be exciting. Let me pull it up.
Oh, I really gonna enjoy this Thursday night game.
Oh, I am too. I'm actually going to,
Do you want me to pick first to
no, I'm
make
going
it
to pick
easier for you?
first. No, I'm going
Okay.
to pick first.
Okay.
I'm going to break everybody's hearts today.
Oh no, you're not.
All right, here we go. I am picking Washington over the Eagles. I just think, yes, the Eagles are doing great, but Washington's doing great. And yes, the Washington defense is not as good as the Eagles defense,
Well,
but I believe in miracles.
I wouldn't say that. The Eagles defense is kind of but too, as long as you're not playing the Cowboys. I'm going with the Eagles, man. I mean, as good as Washington has been lately, I mean, you got Saquon, you got AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts, and the famous tush push. I mean, that's a lot to stop. So I'm gonna go with the Eagles.
Go with the next one. Green Bay against Chicago. I'll let you pick on this one. Which one?
Well, even though they're at Soldier Field, that doesn't matter because the Packers own the Bears at Soldier Field. So I'm going to say they continue the trend, and the Packers are going to beat the Bears.
I was going to go with the Packers too. Jaguars against Detroit. Easy pick, quick pick. Detroit.
Yep, start everybody on the Lions.
Be cautious about Trevor Lawrence. He is out. Questionable Tank Bigsby. Um,
You know, Trevor Lawrence might actually miss the whole year.
there's been questions about it, but they haven't officially came out and said that yet.
I
Let's see
mean,
what.
you definitely need to have a backup plan, and I would highly suggest doing that now.
So Mac Jones will draw the first start. So hey, there you go. If you're in desperate need for a quarterback and he's not sitting on someone's bench, go to the waiver wire, pick up Mac Jones. Now he didn't do too bad at the Patriots. He wasn't the greatest. He was off and on, but he definitely put up points when he needed to. Does have a decent You got Brian Thompson Jr. still. You still got Calvin Ridley. I mean,
Well,
that could be
Mac Jones actually started last week.
did.
Oh yeah,
So there you go. You can go ahead and put them on there. I'm gonna give you a recommendation. That's if you need them. But I'm definitely gonna give that win to the Detroit. Las Vegas against Miami. I am going with Miami.
yeah,
Two is back. It's going to be an interesting game.
yeah. I'm gonna have to go with Miami as well.
A Chain is definitely the lead back now. I was surprised about Zamir White kind of falling off. I was always expecting him to be able to handle the workload, but he has been a not that great of a. I mean, he did great when Josh Jacobs was there, but it seems like after he left, it's just like he doesn't have that spunk. I
It
mean, I don't
kind of
know.
it kind of broke my heart a little bit.
It did mine too because I really had a lot of hopes riding on him.
Oh, me too, and me too.
Los Angeles Rams against New England. I believe the Rams are going to beat New England this week. I believe that's going to be a good game. Karen Williams definitely dominating as a running back. Cooper Cup, he is healthy, he is playing.
I'm actually I'm actually gonna go with the Patriots on this one. I just got this funny feeling that the Patriots are gonna do the Patriot thing, and Drake May's gonna kind of get it figured out. And plus, the Rams are dealing with injuries too, so
Well, you got Cooper Cup, Puka Nuka, all them
I
are
was
back. So
on
I don't.
defense.
Yeah, I know, but still, they were struggling last week with it, and they still pulled it through. They're better. They have a deeper defense than they do an offense.
Well, the Rams lost to the Dolphins, so
Yeah,
the defense kind of looked to me.
yeah.
That's the reason why I'm going to go with the Patriots, and also Ramondre Stevenson had a prayer is doing a lot better than he did in the beginning of the year.
How about Cleveland against the Saints?
Oh,
Cleveland
um,
against the Saints.
I am. I'm actually. I'm actually gonna go with the Saints on this one.
I am too.
I gotta go with the Saints on this one. It,
Indianapolis over the Jets. So Joe Flacco's still starting. He'll remain Indianapolis starter for week 11 against the Jets, which I don't understand that whole situation. I thought it was just like a lesson teaching. Are they really saying that Anthony Richards is that far off step where he's not experienced enough to play another snap? What happened? I mean, he won the
yeah,
game.
they said that he was gonna sit and he was gonna learn instead of play. So unless something happens with Joe Flacco, it's going to be Joe Flacco here on for the rest of this year. But they did say they're not giving up on Anthony Richardson though. So right now, this is more like of a learning thing for Anthony Richardson.
Josh Downs has been his main target. So that's
Uh,
definitely a Pittman used to be the guy.
oh, Pittman's been hurt too.
Yeah, he's been off and on hurt. He did come back for week 9,
I'm honestly gonna go with the Colts on this one.
but he was out. He was ruled out for the Bills. So
I
yeah, he's still down.
I'm honestly gonna go with the Colts on this one because the Jets are just dumpster fire.
One day they're there, one day they're not.
Yeah, they win one game and everybody thinks all of a sudden they're just this team that just turned it around.
All right, here's a battle of battles. And I don't care what anybody says. This is a game you need to tune in and watch. I'm definitely going to be watching it. I'm going to watch the Ravens fly all over them Steelers. I said it. Now come back with anything on it.
Well, I mean, unless the Steelers can stop this offense, I don't think it's gonna happen.
I
As
believe
I'm gonna go with the Ravens as well.
I still think it's a whole drama situation there with the quarterbacks. I know they're stuck with Russell Wilson now, but
There's no drama.
I don't think they should have put Russell Wilson in that chance. I don't think they should have put him in either one of them quarterbacks should have been put in that situation. They're both starters.
Russell Wilson finished as the quarterback 9 in fantasy last week.
That was 1 week. I mean, Justin Fields did it a couple weeks too, not too long ago. If we remember, we talked about it. He did finish in the top 10.
I mean, I get it. You don't like it. Like Russell Wilson's doing good. I get it.
No, no, no. I don't mind. I'm glad for him. I mean, but I still think it, for a fantasy perspective, it's horrifying that you have such a decent, I mean, compared to some of the other quarterbacks you have out there, could be possibly on someone, even when he played with Chicago Bears, he didn't do you too bad on scoring. But I mean,
Well, I mean,
they didn't
nobody.
win no games, but
Well, I understand what you're saying, but the Steelers are the only team that wanted him.
that is true.
So
Uh,
but I understand what you're saying. I get it.
all right. So now we're going on to the next game. Minnesota against Tennessee. Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota.
We won't even discuss that one. Atlanta to Denver. This is going to be a battle to see and watch. Williams, I believe, will be out. Audric Esteman is doing really well. Not doing well, but I would still play him as a flex if you needed him. I wouldn't ride him as your RB1. I'd kind of watch how everything plays out. I mean, that whole running back crew there at Denver is still questionable.
Yeah,
Um, I
but
know Esteman was hurt in the beginning of the season, so he didn't play as much. Now he's playing a little often. Let's see how they bring him into the fold, I guess. But you're going against Atlanta. Um, that's going to be tough. And at the end of the day, I think Atlanta's going to handle their business.
I do agree. I'm going with Atlanta on that one.
Seahawks and San Francisco. I believe Seahawks will pull out a victory over San Francisco.
I would agree, but Christian McCaffrey is back, and I'm gonna have to go with the 49ers on this one.
Hmm. All because of Christian McCaffrey.
Well, you also got George Kittle and Debo still doing his thing, and they actually got a really good defense. So I mean, and Juwan Jennings has actually been playing pretty well too in the absence of Brandon Ayuk. I mean, I'm sure I can find a couple of more things if I need to.
Well, let me break the whole Red Kingdom, Chief Kingdom, whatever's parts right now. Let me just say it right now. The Bills will triumph. Superman is there.
Are they
Here comes,
finally gonna do it?
yeah, the referees are not going to be there for you this time. They're there for Josh Allen.
You
Josh
know,
Allen.
you
Taylor
know,
needs to be up in the stand to watch her hubby lose a game. And by God, there we go again. They wanted to call me and say, "Hey, we done told you about saying that. Quit saying it." I'll have to call Roger Goodell back and say, "Listen, buddy, I can say whatever the hell I want on my show." But
okay. Well, you know what? I'm I'm gonna go with the Bills. I think
oh,
I
good.
think I think the Chiefs finally take a loss. So, and it's also in Buffalo, so I'm definitely gonna go with the Bills.
All right. Who's their kicker? Tyler Bass.
Yes.
I got to find him on the rankings. I remember reading them somewhere around here. That's Tyler. Oh, there he is. He is ranked 155. He's tied with oh wow, he's tied with three other. Oh no, he's tied with one player, Grover Stewart, defensive player. 93 total points. Quarterbacks, Josh Allen, he's ranked number 8. Patrick Mahomes is way down here in the like 30s and 40s, I believe. Oh, well, he's above Caleb Williams. I'll let you know that much. Caleb Williams is 70.
Mhm.
Uh, oh God, I seen his name earlier. So many players and so many names. But whatever. Josh Allen's ranked higher. So yeah, I'm going with that. All right. Chargers against the Bengals.
I am.
I think it's going to be a good game. But they're on fire in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'm honestly gonna have to go with the Bengals on this one.
And two dumpster fires and Texas going at it. I still believe Houston will pull it off. And their
How's it?
dumpster fires because of injuries. It's not because of, well,
Oh, I was about to say, how is Houston a dumpster fire?
injuries.
Okay, well now, well that makes more sense now since you put it that way.
I mean, you got a lot of top end, and I'll give their backups credit. I mean, Mitchie, Tank Dell, everybody that's been playing when they play, they're doing what they can do, and it's still looking good. I mean, it ain't bad on the Dallas side of it. They're calling down the street to ask for help for the local community college to play for them because all their other players are gone for the season. I mean, I just cannot believe Dak is going to be out the rest of the season. That was my biggest thing at the beginning of the season is Dak stayed healthy. That was the key. Their running back room was already a disaster. We knew that up front. We should never let Jerry Jones decide who he's drafted for running backs. He had the opportunity to get a better running back. And Jalen Wright would outrun any of them guys on that team. And they could have got him. And it would have been worth it. I mean, just saying. I'll shut up. I'll digress. I'm not a Dallas fan. I'm just saying they could have done better. Um, how many combined total points do you think will be for the Houston and Dallas game?
I got 47,
Mm,
and most of them are Houston's.
I'll go 38. I'm going under. You're going over. All right. So, what I did not mention to everybody, and I know we're late in the show, should have told you in the beginning. Giants, Cardinals, Buccaneers, and Panthers are all off. So if you've been playing your Bryce Young or whatever, time to sit them. Buccaneers, no Baker Mayfield this week. No Marvin Harris, no Caleb Williams, no Connor. All these guys are out. And Giants, I ain't got nothing to really mention. Maybe Lawrence, the defensive guy. Um, I ain't gonna say nothing else. But that is what is going on the NFL side. So let's talk about a quick recap of wild, crazy college. Ole Miss. Okay, I've watched a lot of football in my lifetime, and I honestly sit there and I've even Googled it because I was so desperate to find out at what time in history did they rush the field prior to the game ending or before the game ever ended. That was interesting to see that happen and how they finally got all the students back to the sidelines so they could finish the game. Great for Ole Miss. Good win, Lane Kiffin. I mean, well deserved, well played. They outplayed them. It was a great game. Bottom
Mm,
line.
yep.
Um, I did not project. I figured the only game I thought Georgia would lose would have been to Alabama, but they ended up losing to Ole Miss. That makes two. It's been a long time since I've seen that many teams in the SEC lose games.
We're just
Um,
the SEC is just cannibalizing each other.
yeah. I also look at the teams that are beating them and what they done on the outside don't look good. So I'm just saying. Um,
Yeah, well, I can show some Big Ten ones too.
yeah. Well, I'm not saying the whole Big Ten conference, but
Yeah, sure.
uh, Ohio State dominated their game. Notre Dame definitely dominated against Florida State. I mean, I don't know what happened to Florida State. It seems like the whole wagon wheel and lug nuts fell off. I
They
mean, I
suck.
they forgot the wood. Uh,
They
you know,
suck.
Alabama. Wow, that was probably the first time I think I could remember. It's been a long time since I seen Alabama just go in there and whoop the tail out of freaking LSU. I mean, it was embarrassing. I actually cringed. I was like, please God, have this over. I wanted it over like really soon. It was like before even first half, I was like, please God, this needs to be over. Um, mm, Oregon's doing Oregon's thing. They dominated Maryland. Nothing new out of that. Ole Miss was a shocker. Great game to watch. Uh, kind of felt sorry for Georgia through the whole game, but in reality, I didn't feel a bit for Georgia. Uh, Georgia Tech, booyah, baby, did it. I knew sooner or later this Miami hope and dreams would finally slip away. It was too many close games, too many gotchas, too many things, too many errors. I honestly don't think they could compete against the SEC or the Big Ten. I think at the end of the day, you could take a 3-loss SEC team or a 2-loss Ohio Big Ten team, and they would literally just plummet Miami. Nothing against the ACC. It just look at Miami's play. It's been chance, luck, playing. At the end of the day, Texas didn't expect nothing more out of Texas. I mean, it was what it was. I mean, they're going to beat them down. Florida is not. Yeah, Florida. And that was something I did watch with Georgia. Georgia struggled against some low key SEC teams where other teams had no issues. And there's a lot of gaps you could see in the Georgia team versus the Texas. And Alabama had their gaps too. They have some gaps too, but I think there's a little bit more. I think there's a lot more to uncover there. Penn State, nothing was expected but to win. Tennessee, yeah, that's just a normal day in business. Mississippi State and Indiana, that was the closest Indiana game I've seen all year. All their other games has been pretty much blowout. Wow, Michigan, you did your job, but you didn't win. But you did your job. You showed up and played a good game. BYU, I watched that game. Oh, I didn't think BYU was coming out of that game. I thought it was over for BYU. Uh, yeah, they deserve to be ranked. Yeah, they earned that win. Yeah, it's to a team that's been plundered with injuries and setbacks. And Utah is usually a top team. They struggled this year because of injuries, and it happens sometimes. Everybody has their issues. They've had injuries on both sides of the ball. BYU came in there. Do I think they're ranked where they should be? In all honesty, yes. I mean, I'm not trying to knock them. I mean, it's really hard to put them ahead of anybody like top notch like Tennessee. I mean, just at the end of the day, I mean, yeah, you're 9-0. So was TCU. So I mean, come on, guys. Let's think about previous history here. Boise State, they pulled out their win. Nevada tried. Wow, just on and on. Another good game that was did not see coming was the Pittsburgh Virginia game. I did not think Pittsburgh was going to lose that. They did. Colorado could actually be a Big Ten champion. I'm not Big Ten, Big 12 champion. Woo! Slip that bad boy out of there. And I wasn't talking about no Diddy thing. Uh
Mm,
just say, oh, that wasn't
mm,
good. That was uncalled for. I need to
mm,
take that back.
mm,
Should be slipping nothing in anybody. Uh,
mm. Stop, you're making it worse.
I know. Did they have baby oil on the field? That was the question. No, I'm just kidding. Dion, man,
Okay.
you're coaching it. You're coaching it. You dominated Texas Tech. It was the end of the day. Um, Army still undefeated. How about that? Loving it. That is awesome. And they still only rank 25. Now, let's go into our college pick'ems real quick. I just loved last week's football. There was some good games, powerhouses. I mean, Notre Dame, Army's not going to win the national championship. I would love to see that, but I don't think it'll ever happen. But I mean, it's hard to put them against a Boise State. I think at the end of the day, if you match them two up, Boise State's going to probably come out on top. Do you disagree or agree?
I agree with it.
Okay. Yes, they're undefeated. Great. Love it. And if they win their conference champions and end up being higher ranked than Boise, all respect to them. I'm an Army fan, so I'm an Army guy. So there you go. All right. I'm having a hard time getting my college app up. Are you?
I already got mine up.
That's your youth talking.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, I guess my phone is pretty youthful too then.
Oh, just I went down a dark alley again. Oh, that was pretty good. You're
It's
like,
all
no,
right.
it wasn't.
It's
Mm.
all right though.
Oh, I'm clicking on the wrong app. I was on my ESPN Plus app. Jeez.
Okay, so see, with age, it's more difficult.
Maybe if I wore my glasses, it'd be more difficult. This is where I get the blue pill from, you know? All right, here we go. Games. Let's see here. Let's see what 10 games ESPN is going to lay upon us to pick this week.
That's pretty interesting.
All right. So right now I'm 61 and 47. Oh, am I right on that? Yeah, 61-47.
Hmm.
All right. So let's see here. Am I clicking on the right one? There we go. All right. Tulane against Navy midshipmen. I'm going to go with Tulane. Green Wave.
Yep, I'm going with Tulane.
Two Big Ten teams going at it this week. Illinois against Michigan State. Illinois is a lot better team, I believe.
Yeah, I got Illinois.
LSU will come out and redeem themselves. They probably won't be in the top 25 no more after rankings come out tonight.
Well, they're actually ranked 15th right now.
In the AP?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, it's got it right here too. It's number
oh,
15, LSU.
oh, I didn't know they already updated the standings. Hold on.
Oh yeah, they do them like Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, but the college playoff committee standings rankings, that ain't come out yet, has it?
No, that's
That's
I think
tonight.
that's tonight.
Yeah, so after this weekend, no, they're not 15 no more. They're not. The LSU's 21 in the AP. The app,
Well,
if you look at the current AP
yes, the
rankings,
app needs to be updated then,
yeah,
because
the app is off. The current ratings for AP, I knew they dropped. I thought they dropped out, but no, they still hung in there 21. Army went up to 16. Wow. So I should have read that. Uh Oregon State Beavers against Air Force. I'm going to go with Oregon State Beavers.
yeah, I'm gonna go with Oregon State.
Baylor Bears against West Virginia Mountaineers. I believe the Bears are going to win.
I'm actually going with Mountaineers.
James Madison against Old Dominion. I am going with James Madison.
Yeah, I'm going with James Madison.
Here's a good one. Arizona State against Georgia State. I am going with, Arkansas State against Georgia State. My bad. I'm sorry, Arkansas. I really apologize for calling you Arizona. That could cause a big fight right there. Arkansas State, definitely.
Yeah, I'm going with Arkansas State.
Another Big Ten matchup. Rutgers against Maryland. That's Rutgers really looked good this year. Maryland does not look as good. I would have to go with Rutgers. I believe they're actually going to get a 6-win season this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Rutgers.
Now here's the pick of the picks, and this is where I'm torn because Tennessee has looked good, but I think their quarterback is questionable. I don't know if he's playing or not. I need to look that up. They're ranked number 6, and they're going against the Georgia Bulldogs, which the Bulldogs dropped all the way down to 11 after that loss. We'll probably go with. Let me read Tennessee before I say that pick because I want to see if the quarterback's going to be out. Um, any kind of notes on this guy? Nope. Interesting. I figured they'd have something out there. Let's see here. I am. What do you think?
I I'm actually gonna go with Tennessee on this one.
I will go with Tennessee if I can confirm that their quarterback is playing, and I will do that right now. Week 12 is the week, right?
Yeah.
So Tennessee here. Uh, yeah, I'll go with Tennessee. Kansas City Jayhawks and BYU Cougars. I believe the BYU Cougars are going to win that game.
Yeah, I do as well.
And now the total points for the Tennessee and Georgia game I'll say 52.
Oh, I have 48.
So you're under, I'm over. All right. So this week's matchup, the one thing I was surprised, oh, they're only playing Northwestern. That ain't a big game. Alabama's playing Mercy. That's not a big game. They would be big games if they get upset. Games then we'll be talking about. They're like, wow. I'll tell you a good matchup. Utah and Colorado. I mean, Utah played like they did against BYU to give Colorado running for the money, but Colorado's really looking good altogether. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't see anything else on that. The only thing I can say in fantasy right now, dealing with injuries, is in the sleeper app. If you know, like you only get to pick, like depends on what your league is. Our league is set for 3, and that's the max that sleeper allows you to do it for. If you got more than 3 people questionable in your starting bench, which in a lot of people's teams right now, that is a possibility, a high probability. Um, what you got to do is you got to look at which of them players are most likely not going to play to use your substitution. So that's a big decision maker because I mean, if you have 4 players that are listed questionable and you got only 3 chances to pick and you might only have 1 or 2, you got to strongly look at them 4 players and decide which one you're gonna substitute. Don't pick the one that's going to have the highest sub points because there's a chance that player is going to play and the other player doesn't. So you really need to do your homework all the way up to the day of the game, either way, especially with the high injury rate currently in the NFL. You have to manage your team no matter what the extra benefits that Sleeper offers, because at the end of the day, it's how you manage your team if you're going to win or lose. And sometimes there's nothing you can do, it's out of your hands. It's like, for instance, I have one team, it had me projected as a B rating, it had me projected to the playoffs. But when I have, and this is no exaggeration, 16 players listed IR or out, a lot of your hopes and dreams are depleted after that point because 6 of them are on IR. And then you're freeing up bench spots to add other things. Even though you got them on IR, you're filling them up with players that it's a hit or miss. It's like I'm rolling a dice. Am I getting a 1 or am I getting a 2? And I might get a 20. And
Hmm.
somehow magically 6 dice appear. So, but most of the time it doesn't happen. Like last week, everybody I substituted, the highest score I got out of my substitution was 4. Last week, my highest substitution got me 36, and it was the highest the guy scored all season. Everything else has been below 10. Now, is he going to score another 36? No, he didn't next week. Actually, he scored, I think, 1 point, or it was a half a point. And yes, I played him. So I know it sucked on my part. So I thought he's going to be my hero. He was nothing but a drop in the box. And like Mitchie, he did good last game. We don't know who CJ Stroud's going to pick for his target in the next game. It's who CJ, as a quarterback, he's got to decide who he can get the ball to and who's the most efficient. He doesn't have his key players, Stephon Diggs. He ain't got Nico Collins. He is playing with a deck that he's unfamiliar with, but he's managing it. And he's picking, if you notice, it's not consistent. And I wish we could find some consistency out of it because then it would help us decide. Like, I finally gave up on Mitchie and tossed him away. Now I kind of wish I had him. But then again, it's like it's not every week is he getting over 10 points. So it ain't like I'm like scoring every week. So it's a battle. Uh all I can say, guys, is pay attention up to the thing. If you guys like the content, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Next week will be our 50th show, so we'll have our 50th anniversary. I can't believe that me and Austin has put out that much material. We've got a lot of little shorts and stuff, so we have over 50 videos, but like 50 podcast shows. This is 49 right here. So
Yeah.
50, and we're over. We started last February. Well, we started this February. February 28th was our first release, and we've grown since then. We're over 1,600 subscribers. Appreciate everybody out there. The fan base has been great. I would love more comments, more talk. I know initially I kind of didn't set it up correctly, but now I got it all right, I think. If I don't, let me know. And we'll keep on putting out some good material. So, what do you always say?
Make sure you share because sharing is caring.
That's right. And that was what the fourth phone call I got. I need to turn that phone off next show.